For 2 years, the joyful noise of Christmas in Bethlehem had faded to a whisper. This is the place where Christians believe hope was born, but the festive lights went out and the carols fell silent. Manger Square, usually packed with pilgrims and buzzing with celebration, stood quiet. Its emptiness was a heavy symbol for a world in turmoil. Last year, where a giant Christmas tree should have stood, there was a stark nativity scene, the infant Jesus, surrounded not by hay, but by rubble and barbed wire. It was a powerful message of solidarity and sorrow. But this year, something is different. Even with the scars of a devastating war still fresh, a defiant flicker of faith is returning. This is the story of how the bells of Bethlehem began to ring again, not because the conflict is over, but because the community decided that hope has to be celebrated, especially when it's needed most. Section 1, The Shadow, a muted Christmas. To really get what this Christmas means, you have to understand the quiet that came before it. After the war broke out in October 2023, church and city leaders in Bethlehem made a painful choice. All unnecessarily festive public celebrations would be called off. The giant tree, the joyful scout parades with their drums and bagpipes, the bustling Christmas markets, all of it was cancelled in an act of mourning and solidarity with the people of Gaza, just 50 miles away. Religious services continued, but the celebrations were somber and muted. That quiet, however, came at a staggering cost. Bethlehem's economy isn't just supported by tourism. It's almost entirely built on it. Local government figures show that around 80% of the city's residents depend on the pilgrims and visitors who normally flock here. For 2 years, that financial lifeblood slowed to a trickle. In peaceful times, the 4th century Church of the Nativity might see thousands of visitors a day. During the conflict, the streets were deserted. Hotels, restaurants, and shops selling handcrafted olive wood nativity scenes stood empty. The economic fallout was catastrophic. One business owner said that while the COVID-19 pandemic was bad, it was nothing like the last 2 years. Another, whose family has carved olive wood for generations, spoke of the pain of having no work for the artisans who depended on him. The silence in Manger Square wasn't just an absence of music. It was the sound of livelihoods disappearing and savings running out. The city's mayor reported that around 4,000 residents had to leave Bethlehem just to find work, a devastating trend for the already dwindling Christian population in the Holy Land. Section 2, The Spark of Hope, a defiant decision after 2 years of darkness, a fragile, U.S.-brokered truce that took hold in October 2025 brought a sliver of hope. With immense loss and ongoing tension as the backdrop, Bethlehem's leaders faced a tough question: how do you celebrate peace when it feels so incomplete? The war wasn't truly over, and suffering continued. But a decision was made, not to forget the tragedy, but to confront it with an act of defiant faith. The city would celebrate Christmas again. Bethlehem's mayor, Maher Kanawati, explained the choice this way: after 2 years of silence, we decided to rekindle hope and the Christmas spirit to strengthen people's resilience. He acknowledged that many had lost hope, and when that happens, it's the end. The decision to light the tree was a conscious choice to send a message to the world that Palestinians love life and are desperate for peace. This wasn't about pretending everything was normal. Cardinal Pier Bautista Pizzaballa, the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, framed it as a spiritual necessity. After 2 years of darkness, we need light, he declared. As he made his traditional procession from Jerusalem to Bethlehem, he carried greetings from the small, devastated Christian community in Gaza. He spoke of the total destruction he witnessed there, but also of a powerful desire for life. All together, we decide to be the light, he told the crowds in Manger Square, and the light of Bethlehem is the light of the world. Other church leaders echoed this idea, describing the celebration as a deeply spiritual act of solidarity and compassion. It was a declaration that joy refuses to be extinguished and that faith can survive occupation. The decision to celebrate was an act of resistance against despair itself. Section 3, The Miracle, Light in the Darkness. And so, the light returned. In early December, for the first time in over 2 years, the giant Christmas tree in Manger Square was lit, its yellow lights and bright red star shining against the night sky. Thousands of people, Christians and Muslims alike, gathered for the ceremony, their cheers and laughter filling the square. For a community that had endured so much, it was a moment of profound release and shared joy. In the days that followed, the sounds of Christmas came back to the ancient city. The rhythmic beat of Scout parade drums and the soaring notes of bagpipes once again filled the narrow streets. A 17-year-old Scout named Milagros Anstas, dressed in her yellow and blue uniform, said simply, "Today is full of joy because we haven't been able to celebrate because of the war." Manger Square, once so desolate, came alive. A Christmas market sprang up, with vendors selling roasted chestnuts and children's toys. Families took photos in front of the nativity scene while carolers sang. A resident named Oythalja looked at the bustling scene and said, "You can see the town come alive again. Everyone's happy, everyone's coming out to celebrate, no matter religion, no matter their stance, everyone is here." For many, it was the first real Christmas celebration their children had ever known. Georgette Jacquemin, a tour guide who hadn't worked in over 2 years, brought her 2 young children. "Today is a day of joy, a day of hope, the beginning of the return of normal life here," she said. "People are desperate, but after 2 years, everyone wants to celebrate." While foreign tourism is still a fraction of what it once was, the return of local celebrations is a vital first step. Hotel occupancy, once near zero, was projected to reach about 80% for Christmas. Shopkeepers are seeing their first real business in years. Mike Shahan, a ceramic store owner, saw a handful of visitors make purchases during the tree lighting. After 2 years of silence, it was a start. He called the celebration a message for the world at its calm. Section 4, The Reflection, Enduring Hope. What happens when Christmas comes to a place scarred by war? It becomes more than a holiday. It becomes a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The celebrations in Bethlehem this year aren't a sign that the hardship is over. Instead, they are a powerful statement that even in the midst of suffering, faith, community, and the desire for peace refuse to die. In his Christmas message, Cardinal Pizzaballa reminded the world that God first entered history as a newborn child, fragile, weak, and dependent. Yet, that child changed the world. He said this is the Christian way, to be a place of care, tenderness, and love, without limitations, without borders. He saw this light not just in the festive decorations, but in the people whose very lives are a testimony of hope. The story of Bethlehem's Christmas is a modern parable. It teaches us that hope isn't the absence of darkness, but the courage to light a candle right in the middle of it. The people of Bethlehem aren't ignoring the shadows. They are actively pushing them back with carols, bells, and defiant joy. They are sending a message that resonates far beyond Manger Square. Peace isn't something you just wait for. It's something you build, one joyful act at a time. The angel's proclamation to the shepherds on that dark night still echoes today, peace on earth. The question now, as then, is whether the world will listen. CTA. In conclusion, the story of Bethlehem is one of enduring hope that deserves to be shared. If this message of defiant peace resonates with you, please share this video with others. In a world so often defined by division, the simple, powerful act of lighting a tree in the shadow of war reminds us that the light of hope, faith, and human resilience can never truly be extinguished.